Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Wave, Turtle Lake Mercer Schools podcast. I'm super excited to have our first episode. I'm Kurt Zebarth, our school principal, and I'm here with our superintendent, Sheila Schlafman. First episode this year, we thought we'd get a few things out there just for all of our families and our members of the communities of Turtle Lake and Mercer, just so that everybody's aware of what's all going on. So we've had a great start to the year so far.
Excellent.
Yeah, we've got
really
some
great start.
just like I always say, we have great students.
Yes.
We have awesome students. They're showing up. A great segue into our students being awesome. The first thing I'd like to talk about is a big kudos to our students on the cell phones.
Absolutely.
We had to develop policy this summer based on a House bill that came out through legislator. Bell to bell, students can't have their phones. And our school, we decided to have a storage box system. And you can tell a little bit about, like, because you were there when those first students were coming in.
The first day of school, they walked in and they saw the boxes, the little doors were open, and they said, "Is this where we put our phones?" And I'm like, "Find your slot with your name on it." And they put them in there. No questions, no arguments, just
Yeah,
went with it.
it was so awesome because, I didn't actually bring out the policy to the students. Well, we sent it out to families
Yes.
earlier. So there was some communication, I think, that went on at home, which was nice. But the policy didn't come straight to the students until later on in the day, as
Yep.
we had our back to school assemblies, and they were already following it. The one thing I've noticed, and one of the teachers pointed out to me, is like the transitions from class to class are so much smoother right now. They're going to the locker, they're getting their stuff, and then they're talking
on the way to class. Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. Next thing I'll talk about a little bit is our school calendar. Our school calendar is on our website. There's a few changes this year, big 4-day week change for us, which so far so good. So you can check it out on our website under the 25-26 school year stuff. I'm also going to throw a link in the video description. So if we're on YouTube, in the video description, you'll find a link to our school calendar. And then the other thing is for anybody, parents, family members, just any of our Turtle Lake Mercer community members, if you just want a printed copy, stop in the office and I'll get you one. And then should be good. With that school calendar, I think it's worth noting Friday, September 12th, big event, homecoming, CMC homecoming. When we did the calendar last year, we were fitting it all together and we decided to pick that Friday as a school day because we wanted to give that opportunity for our students to be part of the homecoming festivities.
Correct.
As they have been in the past. This year homecoming is in Underwood, and we'll have more information about that coming soon, but we can plan on all the homecoming festivities and the homecoming game, and most likely the homecoming dance being in Underwood this year.
Correct.
So a lot of stuff going on there. So I'll turn it over to you. You've got a couple things to talk about too.
All right. So again, I just want to thank everybody for making arrival and dismissal just going really smooth this year. A little change this year again is doors open at 7:45, and our kids have been here at 7:45. They've been dropped off, ready to go. High school class begins at 8 a.m. and our kids are in class ready to go and learn at 8 a.m., which is really great. Elementary has a little more time. Their class starts at 8:10. So a little bit more time there for them. But just want to thank everybody for getting here on time. We haven't had really any tardies. And then just a reminder that if you're walking your student into the building, that we ask that you park in the parking lot, not park in the drop-off zone. We want to keep that drop-off zone open for school buses and just open for families who are maybe just swinging through, dropping a kid off, and letting them walk in on their own. But if you plan to walk your student in or come in at the end of the day and pick them up, we do ask that you park in the parking lot just to keep that drop off and pickup zone open for our buses. Try to keep it as least congested as possible. And then just a really important reminder, we have 5 buses out in the loop, especially at dismissal time. So just really practice, being aware and not passing school buses that are parked. Make sure that you are aware of that and not passing those school buses just to keep everybody safe.
Especially when that stop sign is out.
Especially when there is a fine that goes with that. So
Yeah.
If you do pass, there's a great chance that you're going to be reported for that. So make sure that you obey the stop sign.
Yep.
Along with that, we're approaching our first Enrichment and Intervention Day, which is coming up on Friday, September 5th. That'll be our first E&I Day. And so if you are looking to bring your kid in maybe for a little extra help in math or reading or, a science concept, really anything at all, maybe they have a project that they're working on in FACS class, we have a form on our website, which is available, like if you go on your computer or if you open the app on your phone. On your app on the phone, on the bottom right corner, you're going to see more. And within the more category, you'll see forms. Once you open forms, there's going to be two forms for you to access. The first one is the Turtle Lake Mercer Enrichment and Intervention Friday. And in there's 6 questions that you'll answer, just your student's name, the date that you're looking at, and then there's 30-minute chunks that you'll look to sign your kid up for, to bring them in and have them work one-on-one or perhaps in a small group with a teacher. And then it just asks, what are you looking to have them work on? So we want to know specifically what it is that they want to spend their time on so that their teacher can prepare for that. Under forms, you're also going to find an absent form. So sometimes mornings can get pretty busy and the phone rings a lot. Say it's Monday night and your kid is sick or you forgot that they have an appointment the next morning, maybe an early morning orthodontist in Bismarck. You can go online in that same category under forms and fill out an absent form. And again, there it's just the date that they're going to be absent. I think it asks for the time and then their name, of course, so that you can put them out as absent. And then you don't have to call the front office on those busy mornings. So just another nice option to be perhaps a little more accommodating to our busy families.
And I'll use that absence as a good segue into our one thing we talked
Perfect.
about.
Yeah.
Excused absence. That's always a confusion of like, what is an excused absence? What does it really mean? And we've really tried to solidify the meaning of that and explain that to our students. What an excused absence means is, as a school, we know you're gone. We know that you're at a appointment or you have a family trip or whatever the case might be, but it doesn't mean it doesn't count for your 10 absences.
Correct.
Within Century Code, students can have no more than 10 absences in a given class period per semester. And then we have to develop policy about what we're going to do after that point. So those excused absences, even though you've called and said, hey, we're going to Deadwood for the weekend or whatever it might be, they still count. It's just called an excused absence, meaning we know that it's
Yeah.
it's something that's happening. So
And then with that, so if it's put as an excused absence, you are not going to get the phone call saying, hey, Kurt's absent from school today.
yes.
And so that's just kind of a safety thing. We have lots of kids driving to school, and it's just a communication piece. So
Yeah, the assumption is when they leave your house, they get here. Well, if something were to happen and they don't get here, we have some systems set up to notify you, hey, your student's not at school. Well, so and so left at 7:40 to drive to school today. I wonder where they are, and just to help us make sure we know where
Yep.
all of our kids are at.
correct.
You want to go ahead and talk
All
about
right.
locker rooms?
Yeah, so this summer we did a little flooring project. So we did some updates. In our locker rooms, we put some new epoxy in the shower areas. And then also in the actual locker areas, we put some nice carpet. It's actually called Kinetic, so it's a waterproof carpet, just really warmed it up in there.
Yeah.
And then added some new benches. Also want to give a shout out to the Turtle Lake American Legion. They provided some funds, so we were able to purchase some new picnic tables for down at the football field. So hopefully you can come to the first football game here in Turtle Lake coming up in September and support the juniors, grab some food, and sit at one of the new picnic tables. So
Absolutely.
thank you to the Turtle Lake American Legion for your continued support.
Absolutely. So a little bit different podcast today, more of an informational,
Yes.
but I think we got to get a conversational piece thrown in
Yeah.
there. So, Mrs. Schlafman, in all your time as a student, who was your most impactful teacher?
I would have to say Mr. Jamza. He was my 7th through 12th grade tech ed teacher. And the cool thing about him, we just learned so much. I will never forget all we did with photography and woodworking. we just learned everything in there, and he made everything so much fun. He wasn't afraid to take us outside. We got dirty. He was just a cool guy. He also did some high ed classes with us and made it really fun. So Mr. Jam's the most definitely.
That's awesome.
So
So somebody that you probably, as you started getting into teaching, like, I want to aspire to be that for
yes,
my student.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's awesome.
yep. I remember last year I was working one day and he came up on FaceTime even. So he called to check in on something with high school activities, and he knew I did the AD thing, so he was calling to ask some questions about that. So
Awesome.
really fun to keep in touch with those teachers. So
Yeah.
how about you?
So mine was Mrs. Miller. So she was my kindergarten teacher first. We only had half day kindergarten, which is kind of crazy to think about
Yeah.
now. So she was my kindergarten teacher first, and then when our class moved to first grade, she moved with us too. So she was our first grade,
Yeah.
one of our first grade teachers. And I always like, whenever asked the question, who's your favorite teacher? It was always Mrs. Miller for me. And it was kind of hard to put like your finger on it because you're a kindergartner and first grader, but I just always look back at like, she was my favorite teacher. What I do remember though is like, she was a really good teacher. She taught us really well how to read.
Yeah.
And like math was super important to her. And she had a way of having like high expectations, even for first graders. Looking back, I kind of recognize like she had high expectations, but she still connected with us.
Yeah.
And she still was this person that like, you just felt comfortable with,
Yeah.
even as a young kid, but you also felt like pushed and challenged. And I just look back at like school for me was, I liked school and it went fairly decent, fairly
Yeah.
easy. And I think like having her in kindergarten and first grade was such an impactful thing on my education. Like
She really set the foundation.
absolutely 100%.
Awesome.
And I just kind of took off from there. So
Yeah.
that
Cool.
was it.
Awesome.
Anything else?
No, I just I think a good shout out here to just our Turtle Lake Mercer teachers
Yeah.
for a really great start to the year.
Yep.
The building just feels great.
Yep.
Kids are in class, they're learning. It's been great. So
It's been an awesome start to the year. Hopefully it keeps going.
yeah.
We'll keep up with the wave this year and get some more students coming in and some more of our teachers probably and who knows, we might even, you never know, maybe we'll even have a community member here someday. If you got an idea like, all right,
Yeah.
Mr. Zebarth, you got to sit down with so and so for the wave, share it with me and definitely think about it. So looking forward to another great year. So
All
thanks
right.
thanks everybody for
Yeah.
tuning into the wave. We'll see you soon.
See ya.